hiatus. We had a hiatus for a little while. All right. Start up TikTok. Hey, Dr. Kenny. How you doing? Going to be starting up the Chaos Cast. Going to be talking about what's going on around the world. As most of you know, Taiwan has been surrounded by China in practice drills, so that's great. And the dollar seems like it may be collapsing because it's lost its world reserve status. Now, we've talked a lot about these things over the last the last year, really. And you got everybody that said, oh, ain't nothing going to happen. It's going to be all right. Everything's going to stay the same as it always has. But no, it won't. And it never has been that way. So when you, this has all happened before. They've confiscated our money. They confiscated our gold dollars and made it illegal to own. Good to see you in here on the Chaos Cast. John Kidd, good to see you coming in. Robbie Slobby, welcome in. Keith, welcome in. We got one person in here on Facebook right now. How Kamar, Jay Williams, good to see you. Aquatic Cash. All right, there we go. Noah Sust, Armelidi, good to see you. Zach's Big D, good to see you coming into the Chaos Cast. Ogie, Shildish, Steve DeGeman. I can't, man, these names sometimes. Hey, Big John, good to see you, Big John. Good to see you in here at the Chaos Cast. Now, share this out if you're just now coming in. Hit that like button. Let's get that likes count up. We're already up to 32, and we ain't been on but a few seconds. We got a good in studio. Oh no, we got Ducky in here, my good buddy Kel, and we know he's going to have a good time in the comments, and he's in there with some of my favorite people. Dr. Kenny, do you think you're going to be able to handle these comments here on Clapper today? We're doing the Chaos Cast. We're talking about the insane bull crap around the world. Kev, I think you'll enjoy this. Kev's from Australia. They have very restrictive knife laws. What do you think about that, Kev? It is the Ontario RTAC 2. Just got this in the mail through, we had a work reward system for safety, so that was great. And I had enough points to get that, a nice lightweight camping cot, and I got me a good multi-purpose tarp. So we got one person in here on YouTube. You think it would fit in your pocket just fine, right along with that other one that I gave you. Gorgeous, what you doing, girl? Good to see you. Mom and them's doing good. I just got back from seeing her. I had to go take her some gas money. She's going to be hauling the boy to ball practice while I'm going to the mine. Yes, I work in a mine. I have a full-time job, and I do this on the side. So I'm about half crazy. I'm about wore out. I'm so tired. I need a nap. But I woke up just so I could come talk to you and give you some reassurance in the world. Texas, how you doing, Texas? Texarado Designs. Good to see you in here. Shelby Jack, how you? Good to see you. We got everybody coming in. Now, I'm fixing to start the Chaos Cast in a minute, but I like to have this time with everybody coming in where we can talk. Any news that I'm not got in my comments? Is there anything wild going on around in your neck of the woods? You know, the Kev's in Australia. We got people from all over the U.S. We got people from all around the world. You lost the audio? What's going on with the audio? Can you hear me? We got Bama Trucker in here. Good to see you, bud. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? We're losing audio on TikTok. Can y'all hear me? Anybody hear me? Let me see if I can dismiss this and bring it back. Can y'all hear me now? Can you hear me now? I bet I got a phone call. That's probably what it was. And I was over here goofing off. Give Dennis doesn't like to do what he's told, so give it 6 months. Hey, it takes a long time to get stuff to Australia, Kev. It took me a long time to get you them there Three Musketeers. If you want to help a poor Australian brother out, find out, get Ducky's address, and you can send him Three Musketeers in Australia for just 90 cents a day. You can help Three Musketeers deprived Australian get his nougat and chocolate. And they don't have this delicacy over there. They're starving for Three Musketeers, so you can send him. The custom sucks. Australia custom sucks. I think they tore the whole package apart. Yeah, I must have got a call, and I should have disabled that, but we're going to be starting the Chaos Cast. Now, you can find the transcript. I wouldn't say transcript. You can find our blog article at edge29chaos.com. edge29chaos.com. You got our link in our bios, or you can just go to Edge29, type in Edge29 Chaos Preparedness in any of your search drives, and it will pull up everything we're doing. You got their podcasts on. I mean, it pulls up. I looked the other day. It pulled up all the podcasts platforms that we're on. It pulls up our website. It pulls up all our social platforms, our videos, and then you have these blogs that we write. And so we've got the new Chaos Chronicles up today on our website, so go check that out. And if you see any of the gear in any of the recent articles that you're interested in, click that. We just got our Amazon Associates up and going, so that does help. Every little bit helps to keep this thing rolling. I got some fees coming up through GoDaddy and other things that I'm subscribed to, so you throw a little in the pots. Good to see you. How you doing, Joseph Ribas? Good to see you. Editor, thanks for following, host. Give me a follow. If you're not following me, give me a follow. I think I'm a nice guy. I think we have a good time. I think you're going to enjoy the show. I got so much energy. I ain't been on live in forever. We had spring break. I went on a big backpacking trip out into the Laurel Frost Natural Area with some buddies. I come out with a severe backache. That's why I ordered a cot. So we had that going on. But I have corrected that, and I think I'll sleep better next time. So we've had a lot going on. Then there was Easter, and then there was like a million other things. Right now, we're in the process of working on Gun Week at Clapper. So if you don't know what Clapper is, it's an alternative to TikTok. A lot of people are going over there because of the potential TikTok ban, because TikTok lets you put a lot of things on. Like nobody would know what's happening in France right now if it wasn't for TikTok. And so you got all our social media groups trying to get TikTok banned because of what they're doing, they're already doing. But luckily we have Clapper, and it is an adult platform. It is an 18 plus platform, so we can do Gun Week on there. We can have gun content on there. And we have Aussie Kaz is going to be heading up our Australian branch of that, because hey, Australians can't own firearms. Aussie Kaz's husband is a pro gun owner. The last influx of idiots, give us a few weeks. Hey, there's more coming. We're going to flood Clapper with idiots. We're getting some good folks over in Clapper, though. It seems like it's going more mainstream. If I can get a hold of Carl, if anybody sees Carl from the UK, Carl from Newcastle, tell him to get a hold to DM me, because I'm trying to get him to represent the UK during Gun Week. Now, Gun Week's going to be on Clapper. If you're not there, go ahead and get there. If you go to Clapper and you want to be a part of, it's really going to be, we're just going to keep this as an ongoing thing. We're going to have gun positivity, but the last week of April, we're going to be uploading gun content. It's going to be like basically a range day, a range week. Everybody goes out to the range the weekend before. You go out and fire your guns. You go out and have a good time. You go out and just do some good practicing. You can do safety videos. If you're anti-gun, you can get on there and rail against why you hate guns. If you're pro 2A, you can go and clap them back and say, you're stupid, we don't like you. And then they can come back and say, you're stupid, you're killing people, we don't like you. And then you can do videos of how knives kill people, machetes kill people, all kinds of crazy stuff. We're just going to have a big cacophony, and we're going to have it out. We're going to have a good time. But if you want to join that, we will get you a happy gun on your profile. So if you are here and you want to be a part of it, maybe you're not able to make videos, but you want to support Gun Week, gun positivity, we're going to be pushing hashtag gun positivity, hashtag Happy Gun Productions, and hashtag Gun Week. And we'll get your profile pic. We'll get you in the Telegram group. We'll get your profile pic, and I will add the Happy Gun to your profile. So if you want to support that, you can put the Happy Gun on there. He's that dementedly happy gun with a smiling face. Kind of creepy, but we know he's happy, so we love him. And we also have those shirts. You can go to Dr. Kenny. Dr. Kenny got me a storefront set up. Just go to my website, look for the merch store, and you can get a Happy Gun shirt. I think it's $23.98, and that counts your shipping. So, yeah, I mean, that's not a bad deal to get it shipped to your door, and you get a smiling, happy firearm on your chest. I mean, it's not that creepy. It's not that creepy. It's just so positive. So much gun positivity. We got Big John over here on YouTube helping me get YouTube rolling. Thank you, Mr. Big John. Big John, he's in the house. Australians won Gun Week last year. They did. Gun Week was hectic last year because I was one man. I felt like it was like a one man trying to get the advertising and not everything going. But we got a lot of folks coming on board this year. So we're going to have a good time. All right, so I'm about to start the Chaos Cast, and we're going to go into the articles. We're going to go into the news. We got some good stories coming up. We're going to talk about what you can do. Now, I recently had a clip. I didn't know we could upload 14-minute clips on Clapper. I still don't know if it's a glitch, but they let me upload a 14-minute clip, and it was kind of just a little one-off podcast. And it's going to be exclusively on Clapper and YouTube right now. And I think we may have it on Facebook. But just talking about what I would do. Now, I'm not giving you financial advice, but this is what I would do during an economic collapse where the dollar was shedding its value. A lot of people say buy gold. Are you going to be able to buy gold? I don't know. Are you going to be able to find it? Because right now the central banks are buying the heck out of gold. They're buying the heck out of gold, and they're printing the heck out of dollars. So, yeah, we got that. And they're also making all kinds of new crypto. Thank you for them likes there, Slim Jim U. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. VTech, thanks for the likes. I appreciate y'all. Arm the left. Hey, did y'all realize, now before we get started, did y'all realize that Karl Marx was an advocate for the people to be armed? He didn't want the people to be disarmed. That's when you have problems. That's when the people need to rise up. There's a communist actually told me this. So, really, there's no, like, capitalism, Marxism, neither one wants you to be disarmed. It's just corrupt government officials that want to use these things to seize power of the world. So there's that. Now, all these things they say, hey, they don't want you to, none of the guys wanted you disarmed. He explained Jess and him got a divorce, and he got himself a man rach. I ain't got no man yet, buddy. You're my only guy, man. You know that, Kev. And Jess is still here, and she likes you, so yeah, you know that. So we're gonna go ahead and start. Lord, you're gonna get me in trouble over here with the church folks when they come in on Facebook. They're like, "You hear about Brother Denny over there talking to that guy, saying that's his only guy?" All right, we're gonna get going. Kev don't care though. Kev don't care. That's why we love him. What are you doing, Doomsday Podcast? If you're not following my friend Doomsday Podcast, he is one of the top names in podcasting. I just started mine, so you're getting one right there if anybody listens to this podcast. So welcome to the Chaos Cast. We're going live across multiple networks, and we're going to be talking about, you guessed it, collapse, because we're in the middle of collapse. Modern society is collapsing. The telltale signs of the dollar being devalued. The dollar has been the world reserve currency for as far back as many of us can remember or have ever known. But recently, China, the BRICS nations, they have led the talks of buying oil in the digital yen. So here's the thing. You used to couldn't buy oil unless it was with U.S. dollars. It was the world reserve currency. It was the petrodollar. That was where its value was based. But now there's so much been printed. It's been devalued so much. Well, they're like, hey, we're going to have to keep some value here. So now they're willing to trade in other currencies. Okay, so that means these countries don't have to come to us. They don't have to buy our bonds. They don't have to use our dollar. They can use other currencies. China's giving them an option. So there's that. If you don't like that, well, I don't really like it either, but hey, things don't stay the same. They always change. And so there's a lot of talk about controllable cryptocurrencies. There's a lot of talk about swapping over to this controllable CC. There's a whole terminology. I can't remember there's so many different terminologies in crypto. That's why it's so freaking cryptic, dadgummit. But anyways, but they're basically programmable cryptocurrencies. Now, this is already happening in other countries. There are countries that if they're monitoring what you're spending with these digital currencies and they don't want you to spend it on that, they can shut that down. And when you go to pay, you don't get to buy. And that's kind of what these are going to be happening. That's what's going to be happening with a lot of these if governments issue them. So a lot of people are talking about we're probably going to be swapping over to that very soon here in the U.S. They're already rolling out a Fed-controlled Cash App type platform. They've already rolled out the USDS on Ripple. Ripple's buying up FTX properties like hotcakes. Country, hey, thank you there, Lyle Houston. Thank you for them gifts there, my friend. Um, Countries are shedding the dollar like nobody's business. We're seeing central banks can just snatch up all the gold that they can. Now, Big John's bringing up a big thing here. The barter is the system he will be using, and a lot of us preppers will be. A lot of you that's my only alternative that I see for them controlling things. We see it in every story about collapse. We see it and throughout history in collapse. We see it in prison. We see it everywhere. Black markets. So that's the thing we have to, kind of prepare ourselves for. How can you function in this society and still get by and still not be under somebody's thumb? And that's kind of what I'm looking at. Now, I'd say we got people from probably about every country in the world, no matter what your, the CBDC, that's what it is, Central Bank Digital Currency. That's exactly what it was. Sarah Lou, it's good to see you. We got my mod Sarah Lou in here. Is Kate in here? Because I hadn't seen her yet. She may have popped in here. But basically every country can tell you there's probably some kind of trade market. There's people trading at their back doors. That's the big issue with firearms they have, is because we're legally able to sell back and forth. There's so many in circulation in America. They don't even know all the serial numbers, I can guarantee you. They don't even have it all recorded. And I can walk over to my neighbor's house and swap a gun with him if I need to, and they're not going to know anything about it. So there are these types of transactions across the world. And this is what we're seeing, though. We've never known a time, currently, us as people have never known a time like this. Now, there have been instances where things like this has happened. We have had the time when FDR swapped everybody over to the gold, off the gold standard to the dollar. And they outlawed the personal ownership of gold in America. Everybody had to trade in their gold. They made everybody feel like they were unpatriotic if they didn't turn their gold in, which I don't know if that'll work right now, because most people just they don't trust any government officials right now. But anyways, they traded them in. Thank you there, Sarah Lou. Thank you for them gifts there. I appreciate you. Y'all give my friend Sarah Lou a follow. But the thing that happened was they got back about half of what they turned in value. So they turned in their gold dollars. They got about half back in what they traded in. They were completely duped. And the price of gold was devalued like that. And thus began the government takeover of your currency, of your life. People didn't realize it. People still don't realize it. Now, thank you there, Papa Joe. We're going to see more and more of these this dollar collapse happening. There was a president from Africa I was recently watching, and he's sitting there in front of the cameras, kind of their version of a national address, talk to the nation. He's like, "You're going to regret holding on to the dollar. You need to get rid of your dollars. You need to get out of the dollar as much as you can." So we're seeing that. Now, if you're that person with a lot of cash on hand, you need to be looking at this. Now, a lot of preppers are buying precious metals. You've already bought your gold. You've already bought your silver. But what if they, again, make it illegal to own precious metals? What if they do that? That's something we need to be prepared for. Now, it's going to come down to probably trade and barter if you want to have anything outside of your government system. And I can guarantee you every area of the world has a trade and barter system. Now, growing up in the South, trade and barter's alive and well. I mean, if you got a coon dog and he's got a 22 rifle, there's liable to be a good trade going on, depending on who's got what, who wants. You got some chicken eggs over here, somebody's going to trade you some pork for that, some fresh sausage. I can see it very easily happening here, and very quickly people acclimating to it in cities around the world. If you're not used to the barter and trade system, hey, start looking into it. Now, this is what I would do if I began to realize the dollar was collapsing tomorrow, 2 days from now, a week from now, or it's happened right now. The dollar is no longer worthless. Now, this may sound a little controversial to some of y'all. And I'm not telling you to do this to the regular hard-working folk. You find that person that's always treated everybody terrible. They've always bragged about all their money. They're like Scrooge McDuck. And they just got it stuffed in mattresses, and they're not going to hurt for anything, no matter what. That's the person I'm going to go to. And They love cash. They've got property. They've got things. I'm going to buy that stuff off of them. I'm going to buy things that are valuable. This is me. I'm not giving you financial advice, but this is what I would do. They got some good knives. I'm going to buy good knives. When you read behind James Wesley Rawls, he depicts a situation similar to this that we're beginning to see. Now, it happened a whole lot quicker, happened a whole lot faster in his story. But basically, they went out and they started finding places that would take cash, hardware stores, different, just privately owned places, private people, and they started buying things that they needed and they put them up. They bought things they could trade. Now, there's already people that are doing that. Now, we see Miss Dove says we used to brew beer, so Miss Doves is going to be able to brew up beer and trade. Alcohol will be big business. That's one of the big things that preppers put up. And so then there's the whole issue with FEMA. They can come in because of the Patriot Act and take your food. How do you prevent them from coming in and taking your food? Well, you're going to have to invest, and this is something I need to do myself, but you're going to have to invest in home stored food, canned items. And I would imagine if you're putting things, home canning, also, they probably won't take what you've home packed in the Mylar ration bags. They're going to be trying to take what's in your cabinet, the canned food, the meat in your freezer possibly. But all the better, go can that meat. There's ways to do it. Go smoke and dry and Mylar bag up that beef with different things. We have the Pack Fresh USA link. You can find it in our bio. You can find it on our website. We have it on our blogs. Anywhere you see one of our content, click that link. You're going to get 10% off with code EDGE, all capital letters. And when you do that, you will be enabling yourself to buy products that will help you to put food up. But that's the thing. You got to get your dollar currency into regular currency. And then that's going to be like go to the dollar store and you're going to buy equipment. You're going to buy what you can find. Go to Walmart, places that are still taking the dollar. But I don't think Walmart's going to be taking the dollar. Probably won't find any mainstream dollar stores, but you got to get that cash into hard assets as soon as you realize that the dollar is being devalued, because that's how you're going to hold your value. Land could be a good way to do it, but if the government decides to use eminent domain, they can take your property. So that's one reason I would like to have land. I'd like to be settled on a good high acreage piece of land, but they could take it. So somebody's saying pyramid scheme in here. I really don't understand. Oh, they're talking about the Pack Fresh USA. No, it's marketing, just simply marketing. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to be able to join and do it. It's just basically if you have an audience, they use you to market their products, just like they would pay to put an advertisement on a television show. Because we have probably right now, we'll probably, before this is over, before Facebook is done, we'll probably have a few, thousands of people will have seen this show. We've kept pretty steady flow and Clapper, TikTok, YouTube's, we've only had our 2 there, but we'll have some more come in later on recaps. And then on Facebook, we usually have a lot more people come in later on after they get off work to watch it. And then we're going to have the podcast up. So if you're not following us on your podcast platform, we're on most of them. So you can go there and find the Chaos Cast and you'll be able to listen to this. Probably be up in a couple of days. We'll get it on there. And we will begin to try and get more uploaded. We just had a couple of weeks. We're at vacation and things, and I was off. But yeah, right now, while we're seeing this, we're seeing our supply chain bottlenecked up right now at the ports of LA because of strikes, people that have went on strikes. So that's one of our biggest ports. We're seeing that. Plus, there has been all the shutdowns in China where they weren't sending product over. So there's backlogs on that. We've seen just around the board, it seems America has gotten screwed because of the decisions of its governmental body. All this waiting for yesterday, planning for tomorrow, and you're waiting on the money to come in, waiting on the food to come in today. The stores could empty out in a heartbeat. We've seen that in the pandemic. We've seen stores empty out. We still see it. When these recently, when these different areas had chemical spills, people were flooding into Costco's, Walmart's, wherever they could, and just buying up all the water, buying up all the food, doing their best to get everything they needed in case they had to shelter in place or in case they didn't have running water. I mean, just so much going on. I've never seen so much going on, and people keep coming into the comments saying it's it's gonna be okay. Nothing's happening. There is that tendency from a lot of people to go ostrich. I'm going to say it. They go an ostrich. They bury their head in the sand, la da 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 da. I can't hear you. Nothing's happening. It's okay. But any logical person can look at the world today and they can see we got a crapped up mess. It's just like the dog went duty on your porch, and you're going to step in it if you're not paying attention. And if you're not prepared, these are watch the content that we got everything to help everybody with every budget from every facet to be somewhat prepared for what can eventually and probably will happen. I'd say we're going to see this happen more and more. I mean, we're already seeing mass inflation. There's not a person I know. I was talking to my doctor the other day. You're talking about a person that's a doctor. Her husband has a really good job. They make very good money. And, now she's getting into homesteading. You can tell she's hyper-focused in it. She's talking about, she's learning how to do heirloom seeds. After talking with me, she come up and says, how's your videos doing? Because before she's, we're talking about this, you can kind of tell she's kind of iffy about it. And that's like, how's your videos doing? And then we get talking about homesteading and what I'm doing. She's like, I mean, we're talking about somebody that's making good money. She's like, we're trying, we're looking at the chickens. We're starting the garden. We're going to get heirloom seeds. We're going to learn to ferment seeds. We're going to learn to keep seeds. And she's naming off all this stuff that I've been talking about for the last few years that I've been on social media doing this. Stay prepared, stay prayed up, and stay prepped up. Sarah Lou is exactly right. That's why I like Sarah Lou. She's always got good common sense, and she puts on lots of good stuff. But we're seeing these nations around us. It's like when, you got that older alpha male in the pack of wolves, or maybe the pack of chimpanzees. I'll just say it's a pack of chimpanzees because we're all idiots. We're all idiots. All our government officials are idiots. But they see the old guard, the old dog, the old leader starting to kind of wear out. And they start nipping at him. Then before you know it, I watched one the other day where all the young monkeys, the young chimps ganged up on the main one, and they just killed him. They bite in his face and everything. That's what they're about to do to America. This has happened before. It happened with the Ottoman Empire back after World War I. There was an armistice. They divided it up. That's where we got what we now call Turkey. And then that's when the Middle East fell into, and North Africa began to fall, and a lot of Europe began to fall into collapse. And you had the British, you had the French, you had the Russians. They were kind of nipping at the heels of the Ottomans, and so it set into course a lot of negative effects over the next couple of decades. Where we had World War II, we had the Nazi regime rise to power because Germany had to pay back because of the war, and they mass printed the German mark. They devalued their currency. They crashed their economy. They caused all kinds of issues. And then a guy like Hitler was able to step in and talk a bunch of people into something they wouldn't normally do. So if the Lord tarries and he doesn't come back, we'll probably when he does, if he does start coming back, rapture happens, whatnot. Yeah, that's probably what's going to allow another Holocaust, but not just of Jews, but of Christians also, because you're going to have some guys going to come in and say, hey, we can do this. These people are the problem, because they always look for somebody to put the problem off on, and they're causing a whole lot of crappy problems in the world right now, friends. It's crazy. But the old guard, America, the old dog is getting tore apart right now. We're getting that death by thousands of cuts. We're seeing all kinds of stuff begin to happen. Our world, there's not a person that I talk to that doesn't see that life ain't never going to be the same again in America. It ain't. If you're planning on coming over here, just don't expect what you thought you were going to get when you come here. I'm just telling you, if you're one of those immigrants that's coming across the border, you're not coming into much. They're about to just turn this place into a wasteland. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't turn into a third world country. That's why I'm training my kids like I am, so they'll be prepared for what is coming. They'll have the know-how. And that's what I see a lot of y'all doing with your children. I see things are coming. We have Hooker saying, it would be nice if they keep printing our money. They at least give it to us. Yeah. We're not, me and you ain't going to get it, Hooker. It's going to be the businessmen. They're going to get everything they need to bail them out, and then they're going to flip the currency, and they'll still be rich. They'll have all their land. They'll have all their holdings, because the rich own nothing. Y'all know that, don't you? The rich own nothing. They're LLCs, they're corporations, they own it. They just live off the expense accounts and benefits. Most of them don't even own their own homes. That's when you see one of them go down. They lose everything but the clothes on their back. But you give them one little friend that owes a favor, or they go to that little secluded spot that's off the books that they bought from a pay-to-own deal. They'll go over there. They'll get their plan back together. Then they make their comeback because businessmen know business. They never pay taxes. They never own anything. They're never liable for anything they do because that's how the businesses are structured. And then they make their comeback, and they're still doing better than you somehow, even when they lost everything. But yeah, Hooker, we ain't gonna get it. We ain't gonna get it. Dang, Sarah Lou's having to kick people out already on TikTok. That's just what happens, though. That's what happens. Lord, touch them trolls this morning, this evening. It's actually evening. I'm getting lost in time. Lord, touch them trolls right now. Lord, you see their anger. I pray that you just help them, Lord, in the name of Jesus Christ. I pray, Lord, you see that anger. You see that company that's paying them to be in that troll farm, and they think this is a good idea to come in here. But Lord, I just pray you just give them peace there at the workplace, sitting there at that computer station. Lord, just help them enjoy their coffee this morning like I am. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for the trolls, Lord. They keep life worth living. That's why they throw them catfish in the cod tubs when you read about that whole catfish narrative. Kept them alive, kept them going. Praise the Lord. We're going to have a good time today. But as most of you know, the Chinese military began to conduct exercises near Taiwan. That's evidence. They are not worried about me and you. They flew a balloon across, a weather balloon across our country, multiple weather balloons. These sightings have been around forever. They flew weather balloons over. They gathered military intelligence. We didn't have a clue, or if we did, we didn't care. And mind you, had self-destruct on it. It was big enough to hold low-yield nukes and to detonate an EMP burst from a nuclear bomb that would cause a Carrington effect and take out all the power in America and leave most of us destitute, starving, and alone in the dark. Go read up on EMPs if you don't know anything about it. I'm not fear-mongering. This is a real threat. It has happened before back in the 1860s. We just were not as dependent on electricity. It just burned the crap out of a lot of electrical telegraph wires. This happened from a coronal mass injection from the sun when radiation rained down from a giant solar flare through our atmosphere, causing a Carrington effect, and it caused a lot of problems. But it didn't cause near the problems it will cause as we move forward in our technological pursuits in the world we are in today. Thank you for the follow user 94 and a bunch of numbers. Thank you, Sarah Lou. She is constantly battling the trolls as we can. China has no interest in World War. And here's the thing. Maybe they don't. And I could understand that, because I could see them disabling our country and there not even being a world war. I could say they would disable our country with one of these electromagnetic pulse bombs. They'd take Taiwan. They'd probably go ahead and take Japan. Russia'd finish taking over Ukraine, probably take Poland, probably take Finland. They'd do what they wanted. The Middle East would be taken over by radicalized Islamic terrorist groups, and then that would just be the norm. South Africa, it's already a mess over there, but who knows what would happen there. Probably private interest groups would take over that. America would fall into darkness. You know, it kind of predicts the city in the Bible that goes into darkness and talks about how terrible it is. And a lot of people speculate that might be what they're talking about, but I don't know. I've always questioned that narrative, but if they knocked America's power out, it would be a lot like that in some ways. But yeah, China might not even have to be in a world war if they took our power out, because what military was left would have to come back here to try and sift through the ashes of this country and try to save who they could. They more likely save themselves because they have plenty of food put up for the military. But there'd be a lot of folks die. We wouldn't be fighting in no world war. We wouldn't be worried about sending no nukes. We'd already be in so much trouble that we wouldn't be able to do anything, really. And that was kind of what was happening with the Ottoman Empire. It was collapsing during World War I because they was full of corruption. They were fighting wars they didn't need to. They were not moving forward technologically like they needed to as a government. We see that happening in America. The ability to use AI in China is began to probably far surpass America. And then we talk about, well, America's got weapons and nobody knows about. We're going to take, okay, first off, where's those weapons? They're probably in Area 51 if we have them. But these other countries probably have those weapons. And then also we got to look at this. They're not going to have the ability to mass produce those weapons anytime soon if China sets off an EMP and takes Taiwan, because we don't have the ability to create mass amounts of the computer technology we need to make advanced technological weapons, because we get most of that crap sourced through Taiwan if we don't get it from China. They make our phones, they make our computers, they make everything that you own. This right here is probably one of the most American things you're going to find in America is a knife and a gun. And I can almost guarantee you they bought, man, that phone call. I can almost guarantee you they got the micarta, the bolts, and probably the steel and the webbing, the nylon 6.6 they used on this webbing. They probably got all the base materials from China and manufactured it here. And that happens with about everything you own. It's got some part of China in it, the machine that's making it. I'm not telling you these things to put you in dread, to put you in fear, to put you scared. What I'm telling you is to be prepared. Learn basic skills. Things will reset themselves in time. And if you can make it through to the other end, I think you'll be a little better off than the person that didn't prepare. Now, some people that'll prepare will be too reliant on their preps, and they're not going to make it. There we go. So recently we had Texas Governor Greg Abbott. He's expressed his efforts to grant a pardon for an Army sergeant who was recently convicted of killing a protester at a Black Lives Matter rally in 2020. The convicted sergeant, Daniel Perry, was charged with murder, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and deadly conduct for using his legally owned firearm to defend himself from a rioter with an AK-47 style battle rifle who allegedly pointed it at Perry. And this is actually documented that this same individual had done this at prior instances and had been arrested for it, and he had the firearm in his hands. A jury found Perry guilty of murder, but not guilty of the aggravated assault charge, and the deadly conduct charge is still pending. Governor Abbott tweeted that he is working within the bounds of Texas law to expedite the pardon request for Perry, citing the state's stand your ground law as a strong legal defense. And Texas has some of the strongest stand your ground laws in the world, literally. If they're pointing a gun at you, you can shoot them. I mean, they're trying to kill you, you kill them. It's kind of how it is. And there's a lot of states that have that. So they're trying to make an example of him as somebody that uses a firearm to defend himself. He was an Uber driver showing up to pick somebody up. Somebody said he drove his car into the crowd. No, we know how this works. He drove to pick somebody up, and the crowd surrounded him, and they began to point firearms at him, and they were illegally blocking roads. That's not protesting. That is breaking the law. You're able to gather on property, but you're not just like the whole holler and fire thing. You can't go holler and fire in a movie theater. You can't go pulling fire alarms. There's laws. There's a lot of states that have these laws, and if I'm not mistaken, Texas has these laws. The guy was going to pick somebody up that was on the street, and they surrounded the car. You know that. Don't lie. Don't come on these things and lie. Now, there's a shift in investors' perspective. Now, we're looking. This is kind of those signs we're seeing, folks. These are those signs we're seeing. There has been a significant change in investor perspective lately, with bad news now being viewed as just that, bad news. For the past year, Wall Street had hoped that favorable monthly economic data would encourage the Federal Reserve to ease up on interest rate hikes aimed at curbing inflation. However, following a series of bank failures in March, the central bank signaled that it intended to pause raising rates at some point this year. With an end to interest rate hikes inside, investors have shifted their focus to the overall health of the economy rather than trying to predict the Fed's next move. Previously, softening economic data was seen as a potentially good news, as it could mean the Fed might stop raising rates. But now Such data suggests that the economy is weakening, which has made investors concerned that a recession may be looming. The markets were impacted last week after a series of economic reports showed that the previously hot labor market is now cooling. As a result, investors sold off high growth, large cap stocks and turned to defensive stocks in sectors like healthcare and consumer staples. So when they start buying consumer staples, when they start buying stock in gold, you know something's happening with the economy. You know the economy is in free fall. You know the economy, it's not in free fall, but it's tumbling down the hill. And when it goes into free fall, you don't want to get caught. How you doing, Ark Wildman? Good to see you. That's my buddy on YouTube. He is a survival creator on YouTube. Give him a follow if you're not following my friend there. He's always coming in and making comments on the videos and stuff. We're glad to have him. Ark Wildman Survival. If you're not following him on YouTube, give him a follow. Thank you for that share there, Sarah Lou. Sarah Lou's working her little heart out today. She is combating trolls left and right, and we thank her for that. That job she does when she comes here, that help she gives us, because hey, she's the only one that can do it like she does it, and we appreciate you, Sarah Lou. Now, one little piece of this article I forgot to read, So this change in perspective means that Wall Street will not interpret bad news as bad news and good news. Thank you there, Sarah Lou. Thank you for that gift. However, investors are still keen to see cooling inflation data. Even though the central bank has signaled that it will pause hiking rates this year, the personal consumption expenditures price index, which is the Fed's preferred inflation measure, rose by 5% in the 12 months ending February, far above its 2% inflation target. So got a lot of crap coming on. I'm gonna be done with that, but we're gonna talk about this wild thing that's happening. A deadly bacteria linked to the eye drops. Now, what is this signaling? It's signaling a loss in quality control. Why? Because we got a really rough labor market. A lot of companies, a lot of manufacturing that are in the U.S., they are struggling to get workers. Really, this is happening around the world, getting enough workers. And a lot of it's not because everybody wants to say, these kids don't want to work. No, well, some of them don't really want to work. They don't want to do what y'all done all your life because you taught them to go get a good college education and not go into that life, and they ended up there anyways. So, because I've met tons of college-educated kids that ended up just coming in to the factory setting because they're making more money there than they would at what they went to school for. So, but what's really happening is we got this huge baby boom population. China, they've got this huge population of elders that are retiring. Hey, Sherry, good to see you. Got my friend Redhead Rebel over here in Facebook. Good to see you. But they have this huge graying population, and there's just not enough young folks there because of the one-child policy, and because there's not enough women per man there to have enough to keep the children cranking out. So they don't got enough people to replace the people that have already been working, and we're having the same issue. We're seeing it around the world. Apparently, Russia's dealing with it. The only place that's got this huge young person population is India, and India is in the BRICS nations, I believe. That was the reason a while back they were wanting to move a lot of our manufacturing to India, because India's got a lot of potential there. So that's what we're seeing. We're seeing issues with quality control. You see it when you go to the restaurant and they don't get your order right. You see it when you go to the store and you buy something, there's a part left out in the box. The kids is always going off about that one Lego that they didn't get with the set. You see it when you get certain clothing, and you'll see the seams already starting to come out in it as soon as you buy it. We're seeing it across the board, and we're seeing it in every industry. And this right here, what's happening, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention has reported that a lethal bacteria found in recalled eye drops has caused infections and blindness in the U.S. for the first time in 2022. The contaminated bottles have been removed, but there are still more cases expected to be identified. The bacteria, Pseudomonas aeruginosa, I think I said it right that time, is a well-known type that has evolved to be resistant to almost all treatments. There have been 68 identified cases in 16 states. So this is not just one area. This is happening across the U.S. right now. with over half found in long-term healthcare facilities. So we're talking about nursing homes, basically, retirement facilities, probably some hospitals, some different wards in the hospitals. The infections are linked to contaminated eye drops that were imported from India. So, well, here I was thinking the praises of India, but here we go. We got these eye drops that's contaminated. Maybe we don't need to be trusting them. The new strain of Pseudomonas aeruginosa. I hope I said it right that time. I hope I did. I only got a dadgum third grade education from the Alabama school system. No, I graduated. They go all the way up to grade 12. The CDC investigation showed that the only known antibiotic to treat the infection is ceftriaxone. Man, so many big words. Why are y'all throwing these big words at me? The bacteria can cause eye infections that can lead to respiratory tract infections and pneumonia. Oh, yeah, because it's going to get down there in your sinuses. Otherwise, healthy people can spread the bacteria on their skin without knowing they carry them. The contaminated eye drops have been recalled, including the Esri Care artificial tears. So be mindful of the artificial tears, folks. They may cause real tears. Be mindful. Your mother's side piece. Oh, Lord. We got a troll on Clapper. I don't have many trolls on Clapper. I thank you for coming in here, your mother's side piece. We're glad to have you. I love the name, by the way. I hope you're enjoying yourself. Taurosaurus Rex, good to see you in here. Good to see you in here. Man, I like the growth in Clapper because now we're getting trolls and I get to mess with them. Mind you, trolls, you're not going to have as much fun on Clapper because if you report us here, we actually can talk to real people in Texas about what's happening. They can just restore your account. So just remember that. Just remember that. It don't work like it does over in TikTok or other places. So, yeah, just be mindful of that. You're not going to have as much fun. And they do full Wi-Fi bans, I believe, because I had a friend, she couldn't access any device in her home, no matter what IP address she was using. So just remember that. You may not be able to get back on here and have much more fun. So you just stay quiet. We'll let you hang out. You go mess with somebody else. I did see your garden, Beanie, and I liked it. I'm proud of you. Beanie's come a long way in her prep, and she joined up with me last year and started helping me moderate, and Beanie is growing. I'm going to finish this off. Physicians across the country have reported cases of the new bacterial infection since at least last summer, but the CDC first alerted the public to the potential danger in a statement on January 20th. So this has been going on for a few months, folks. So if you've been using artificial tears and you're having problems with your eyes, you might want to go get them checked. If your mom is at the nursing home and she's having problems with her eyes, you might want to go get her checked. I'm just telling you. That's a wild thing. That is, I cannot see when I wake up. I'm almost blind when I wake up, and I wear contact lenses. So I do understand what it's like to have issues with your eyes. I get these allergic infections, and that clear piece that goes above your eyeball, there's a lot of times there's certain dust that will get in and cause an infection. I have to take the contact out, and that bowl, it just inflates like a balloon, and then my everything gets red in there where the white's at, and I had to go take antihistamine. I had to sit down for a while, take the contacts out, put the glasses on the rest of the day. This has happened at work. This has happened. It actually happened when I was on my backpacking trip here a couple weeks back out in the middle of the woods, so I had to go with glasses the last day. There was obviously some kind of either pollen or dust or something that got on my contact the first day, and when I took it out and put it back in, I started to notice it got into my eye, and I started noticing the infection happening. Let's see here. Just tried a cinnamon treatment on seed starch suffering from mildew. Okay. Hey, that's cool, Sarah Lou. So Sarah Lou's using a cinnamon treatment on seeds that are suffering from mildew. So if you got a video up about that, Sarah Lou, I think that'd be beneficial for everybody to go watch that. Go give Sarah Lou a follow. But yeah, there's a lot going on in the world. Self-help with or self-doctoring, self-medicine is a big thing in the prepping community, knowing how to do certain things. What if you couldn't go to the doctor? What if you couldn't go to the eye doctor? What if you lost your contacts? What if you lost your glasses? A non-sexual live on here for once. Taurosaurus Rex said is on Clapper. I have to say, it is nice to see a non-sexual live on here for once. She's on the Clapper platform. A lot of OnlyFans over there. So It always turned out to be somebody paying somebody to take something off over there. But yeah, be mindful. That's why you don't want your kids on this app, on that app, because it is 18 plus, and there are a lot of working girls over there making money. I got friends that are working girls over there. They're good people. Uh, they just like to show their titties on the screen. And, I'm not into that. I go watch my wife's titties, not on the screen. They're right there free. Maybe I would not say it on television, but I love my wife. She's got a dang great body. I love her. Jessica, if you end up watching this, if you come on Facebook, you got it going on, girl. If you come on here and watch this and you see us, you go tell her, say, hey, I seen your husband on that live stream on Facebook, on Clapper, on TikTok, or I heard it on the podcast. He said you got it going on. He's right. Yeah. Well, I've got it all in the right places. Man, see, Torosaurus Rex, you done turned this all sexual. Lord, that's about sexual. You're gonna get a Pentecostal preacher. You're gonna get me talking about my good-looking wife. That's about it. And I got proof. Kevin's seen her. Kevin has fell in love with her and her sister all at once one time, but then now he's not in love with them no more because he's in love with somebody else that we all know and love. That's a good friend of mine. And yeah, he's a one-woman man right now. Praise the Lord. Well, he's a one-woman, one-man type guy. No, I ought not say that either. No, somebody get me for joking like that. Somebody get me for joking like that. Like, you're a married man. I ain't married to Kevin. Thank the Lord. I think he's still in here. I see his emoji, but that could be a Clapper glitch. You never know. Kev, are you still in here? Oh, Lord. But I don't tell you these news stories to cause you to fear. I'm not here to cause you to fear. Now, this is going to be the part where I get a little religious. So if you're not religious, you don't want to hear that type of stuff, I understand. But I do get a little religious. I do have a certain point in time because I feel like the Lord's blessed me. I try to do what he calls me to do. Now, if you don't mind being around that stuff, you may not believe it, but you don't care because it don't really bother you one way or another. That's cool too. Hang out. Thank you there, Sarah Lou. But I don't tell you these things to be afraid. I'm not afraid. I don't tell you to get to learn all this stuff, learn all these skills, get all this knowledge because, there's never going to be an instant where you're just always continuously prepared. I don't believe that. I believe that, there's always going to be something that could come along to derail your plans. The plans of mice and men. And, it's just the way it is. Only God knows the future. Only he can conduct your path. And, that is my ultimate preparation. I always tell people that I'm always prepared, never scared. And it's not because of the food I have put up. It's not because of these big old knives I got that I like to carry in the woods, or axes or guns or ammo or anything. My knowledge to make explosives or use them. It's none of this stuff that gives me the peace that I have. It's that peace that if all else fails and I die, I got hope. I got hope. I got hope in my Savior, Jesus Christ. Now, again, you may not believe that. I understand that. I'm thankful that you're still hanging out with me. I appreciate that. I got plenty of friends that believe, plenty of friends that don't. I try to I'm Denny Bunch. I come on here. I am who I am. You take me as I am or you don't. And if you don't want to take all of me, you can, you don't got to come in. But if you want to hang out and just watch me make a fool of myself half the time, you can do that too. But I digress. I'll be even more of a fool than this. I'll become even more of a fool than this. But I want to read you this excerpt from Max Lucado's Grace for the Moment, because I like to have grace every moment because I need it, because I'm a fool. I'm a fool here on earth. Don't know nothing. I ain't never done nothing to do nothing. I just got raised up in the Alabama school system out here in the backwoods. I got a backwoods raising. I need you, Lord. But coming from Matthew 9:36, I'm going to say this. It says, when he saw the crowds, he felt sorry for them because they were hurting and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd. Now, see, that right there, to me, derails. And I'm going to read what Max says here, but that derails everything everybody's tried to portray about Christ in the Christian community. You got those people in church, all they want to do is make up all kinds of things to try and say this, that, and another, or why they're more holy than you. Look, ain't nobody getting to heaven because they're holy. You ain't doing it. Ain't none of you good enough. Not in God's eyes, because you're talking about a perfect creator. But you talk about a guy, he don't hold you to that. He makes a way for you to be perfect. How? through him. He's perfect for you. He does all the work. He does all the work, my friends. He's not asking you to come in here and be this or be that or do that or shout or holler or be. He just wants you to come to him. See, what he sees is somebody that's got something going on in their life. He sees somebody he wants to help. It's just like me. I see you wanting to know stuff. I want to do my best to help you. It's like my dad. He sees me struggling. He comes over and helps me. Let me help you, son. Abba Father, crying out Abba Father. It's my daddy. That's the kind of mentality I see with God. He's not this evil guy looking to send you to hell. In fact, he's looking to keep that from happening because the enemy would love to take you there. Satan, he's real. Where'd all this evil come from if he ain't real? You can't tell me we just, a bunch of monkeys thought that up and then we started beating each other to death with clubs because we just somehow became evil. That stuff gets spurred on. And it came about. Just like I want to help my kids, my boys. My son come to me not long ago. He's got things going on in his life. He's about in tears. I want to take him in my arms. I want to talk to him. I want to give him with. He's kind of big, so I can't pick him up like when he was a baby. He might pick me up. He's bigger than I am now. But God loves you. It's that mentality. Now Max says this. Max Kell says, I can't understand it. I honestly cannot. Why did Jesus die on the cross? Oh, I know. I have heard the official answers. To gratify the old law, to fulfill prophecy. And these answers are right. They are. But there's something more here, something very compassionate, something yearning, something personal. What is it? Could it be that his heart was broken for all the people who cast despairing eyes toward the dark heavens and cry the same, why? Could it be that his heart was broken for the hurting? I imagine him bending close to those who hurt. I imagine him listening. I picture his eyes misting and a pierced hand brushing away a tear. And he who also was once alone understands. I'm getting a call on TikTok. Gotta dismiss that. All right. Hopefully we got that back. I kind of look like Jesus is the guy I want to be. I want to help people. I want to be there for people. I want to take care of people. I want to be that friend that people need in time of need. There's a natural innate part in a lot of people. You just want to take care of somebody. You just want to help folks. You want to be a good friend. And I feel like that's what Christ wants to do. He wants to be that good friend. He wants to be there for you. That's what he's done to me. Despite my shortcomings, despite my negativity, despite my angry outbursts, despite all my failures, despite me being a human being, he's like, hey, I'm going to help you with it because I understand. I done been there. That's what he did. He came down here to be a human. And I feel like when God came down as Christ to be a human, he done being a human the best that a human could do being a human. Mahatma Gandhi used to read the Beatitudes every day. And they asked him why he wasn't a Christian. He said, because of Christians. And I can understand it because I've been in the church for a long time. And most of you know, if you've been in the church, maybe you've been a church Karen before. I could say maybe I've been a church Karen before. We've all been church Karens. That person that thinks we got it and they don't. And the Lord will correct you. The Lord will humble you. He's like, I'm not about that. The Pharisees were. And what did Christ do? He went in with a whip, beat the fire out of them, and run them up out of there. Because they were clogging up the worship place for the Gentiles, and they were taking advantage of his children in his father's house. He said, screw that. You ain't doing that. I don't know if Jesus said screw that, but he said, you ain't doing this today. And he made a cat of nine tails, beat the fire out of them, and run them out. I'd say Christ probably go into most churches these days and run the folks out because all they're worried about is them. But I'm going to tell you, Christ is worried about you, and he enables you to care about others. I care about you. I care about my family. Why? Because he's enabled me to not be focused on me, but to be focused on helping others. Because that's where I'm going to find my most fulfillment. And he enables me to do those things. Maybe you feel like that dirtbag, like I have so many times. Maybe you feel like that you're not enough. I hear people say that a lot these days. I just don't feel like I'm enough. He wants to enable you. He wants to help you. He wants to strengthen you. He wants to be there with you. Got a friend, Roger Morris, 22. He's saying, I need help. I do too. I find a lot of it in Christ. I find a lot of it in Jesus. I go through a lot of things sometimes, and that's always where I find my comfort. It's not in things of this world. It's in Him. There's peace there. There's an untold peace. I mean, you cannot believe it. You can say something different, but I'm going to say, me personally, I always say this. There's all kinds of things that people can say. Well, this, that, and most of that comes back to you. But my experience with God through His Son Christ has been just an insurmountable amount of coincidences. An insurmountable amount of coincidences in my life where I was loved. And that's what it all comes down to for me. And if you're looking for that today, now you may not be, but if you're looking for that today, He is that answer. In these troubled times, He's that one that gives me peace for tomorrow. If I can't hear, then He'll take me there. That's the way I look at it. There is an afterlife. See, that's the thing that gets me. I think about seeing my grandmother again. I think about seeing Pastor Phil again. He's this big old lovable guy that was my principal that seemed to understand everything I was going through. And then he had kidney failure, and his whole body went in, all his organs went into failure. And I never got to see him again. You know, he was like that cool uncle. I'll get to see my real life uncle that died last year, a guy that I talked to a lot, that I had a lot in common with. I'll get to see my best friend again, Brandon. He went on to be with the Lord. That potentiality to see lost loved ones again. My cousin Punky, he died in a horrific wreck, in horrific circumstances. But it seems like all that good stuff's there. And why do I talk about it with you? Because maybe you've not had a lot of good stuff in your life lately and you're looking for something. And I'm going to tell you, this is where I found my peace. This is where I found my happiness and my joy. Roger Morris, if you're looking for some hope and some peace, I'm going to tell you just that old song, Have a Little Talk with Jesus. Just have a little talk with Jesus. Tell Him all about our troubles. He can hear our faintest cry. He can answer by and by. Now when you feel a little prayer wheel turning, you know a little fire is burning. You can have a little talk with Jesus, makes it right. That may not have been perfect. I ain't warmed my voice up or nothing. I got some of the words wrong, but you know what? He don't care. He don't care. He's not looking for perfection. He's looking to be your perfection. And I want you to understand that today. If you're screwed up, He'll come in there with you and help you quit being screwed up. And that's the way He done for me, my crazy old self. Now, folks, I'm about to be heading out. Got the kids coming home. I got to get in here and make sure supper's about done. I'm fixing to head to work. Got night shift going on tonight in the mine. Going to have a great time. Going to be hauling some rock, driving my truck. Hands down, best job I've ever had, besides doing this and when I've done ministry. I love driving. I love hauling. I'll throw in a podcast. If you got a job that's similar, hey, we got a podcast version. We'll have it up, hopefully tomorrow we'll have it up. But I hope you just enjoy the things that God enables me to put out here for you, to help you grow, to help you understand what's going on, to kind of zero in what's happening. We thank everybody that comes in and supports the show. Now, if you're looking to help us grow this, you're helping us to keep the lights on, I guess you'd say, to keep the website going, to be able to do more, to reach more. Hey, there's simple ways you can help us. We post different products with their Amazon links on our Twitter and our Facebook accounts. Go check those items out. They're items that we love, that we use. Probably getting a link up for this soon. I think we got some links up on the equipment we used when we went out backpacking. You can find them. The best place to find them a lot of times is in the descriptions of our YouTube videos, because we'll have whatever you see in there. We'll have those YouTube those links for those Amazons again, those Amazon accounts again. I ran out of breath. Thank you, Sarah Lou. I'm trying to talk and then thank Sarah Lou, and my mind's going two different ways, so I get mixed up. That's why I need Jesus, folks. But yeah, thank everybody that has gifted today. We appreciate you. We appreciate what you do. We use that here to further the exploits of Edge 29 Chaos Preparedness. And we try to do a lot, but also there's ReadyWise if you're looking to prepare. Now we've put ReadyWise to the test many times. These camping meals, we've eat them out on the trail. We've eat them out here when we do our backyard camping trips and different trips we go on. These breakfast scrambles are great. Thank you, Sarah Lou. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Sarah Lou just always showing the love. I appreciate you, girl. But we've tried out all the lasagnas and the chili max and all these different camp meals. I love those things for camping. So they don't just sell prep food; they sell adventure meals for your food for your camping food needs. Are quick, easy. Boil them water, let them set, and then you're good to go. You're ready to eat. You got a good hot meal after a day of hiking and walking, and you don't feel like doing a bunch of crazy cooking because that's the way it is when you're backpacking. You're carrying about a good probably 60, 70 pounds on your back out into the middle of nowhere through rough trails, and you're tired, especially if you're old and fat like I am. Yeah, Kevin knows. He told me how fat I was not long ago. It messed up. It damaged my ego. But no, I am. I'm just fat and I'm happy. There's a point where you just don't care no more. But you do your best to get by. I can still run with the best of them though. But yeah, Chaos 10 is our link. You can go to the link in our bio. You'll see our roster count link. Go there, use Chaos 10, save 10%, get yourself prepared, get you some food. You get you 10% link. We get 5%. I had to do some negotiating. That way y'all get a better discount than I get money. So buy lots. You can get prepared. Also, we have Blackbeard Fire Starters. You'll see all these links on our website. On our landing page, we have our link tree built there. You can go tap the banner and you can go to those sites, use those codes, and get a discount. If you're looking to put up your food like we were talking about earlier with Pack Fresh, heck yeah, go and use our links for Pack Fresh and use code EDGE there, and you'll save 10%. And they got oxygen absorbers, they got Mylar bags, they got the whole shebang. I got some videos up using their 5-gallon bags to put up rice and beans. Hey, can't beat them. But I'm glad for everybody came in. I thank you all for coming in. I appreciate you. We're going to try and get back to the regular schedule, regularly scheduled viewing. But I'm going to probably be trying to do podcast specific. Thank you, Sarah Lou. I appreciate you. But we'll be trying to do a podcast through Riverside that I will probably post to YouTube afterwards. Maybe Clapper, if Clapper can take it. I don't know. They did let me post a longer video there. So if you're just joining Clapper or if you're looking for another platform because you're having to leave TikTok, Clapper's great. They got their glitches because they're a startup and they're still young. They got a lower budget than TikTok, so be mindful of that. But they're not TikTok. There's a lot more freedom there on certain things. But yeah, you can go follow us there, and you can possibly. Sorry, boys, we're leaving. Okay, I hear you. My boys is out there doing something or another. But yeah, you can go check out Clapper. We got a link for Clapper, I believe, on our. I think I got that on the site. Yeah, you'll look for that orange banner and go tap it, and then you go in and you can start doing stuff. And we do get a little proceeds through that if you start an account through our affiliate link. They do pay us a little bit for that. So if you're interested in joining a good, great platform, it's got freedom, a lot of adults, go to Clapper and you can use our link. Have a good time. Enjoy the radio rooms, enjoy the lives. You can go live as soon as you get there. You can monetize as soon as you get there. You can start building a following as soon as you get there. You can start meeting great creators that will talk to you, that will communicate with you. But a lot of people are going over there. A lot of big TikTok creators, YouTubers, streamers, gamers. A lot of folks are going over there. So we'll be glad to have you there. If you're not there, go get there. Go to Clapper, folks. But again, it's been good to have y'all here at the Chaos Cast. We're going to try and get back again to regular scheduled programming after all this big upset of stuff in the spring. I've been trying to get my homestead back up and rolling so Kevin don't make fun of me no more for my homesteading. He made fun of killing strawberries. But we're going to get it rolling. We'll get it rolling. We got it rolling right now. Y'all have a good one. We'll see y'all later.